So, my friends, how are you? After a few more weeks of waiting, we are back with the cars on the track, now with the United States GP, held at the Austin Circuit in Texas, which brings many new things for us, Formula One fans. But before I show you all the details about what happened on the track in this first and only free training session this weekend, I invite you to subscribe and activate notifications, as this is the only way you won't miss absolutely anything from this weekend of race. And if you like direct, no-nonsense videos like this, leave a like and support our work here at Home Race. So, without further ado, let's go to the 60 minutes of training this Friday, which will also include qualifying for the sprint race in a little while, so all teams only have these minutes to test the various updates brought, and also configure their cars for the 4 decisive sessions that we will have this weekend with 2 classifications and 2 races. Speaking of updates, the main ones that everyone kept an eye on were Ferrari, which has a reasonable package of improvements and was one of the first to go to the track with free time, and also Red Bull, which brought an all-or-nothing package for this season, warning that if it works, great, but if it doesn't work, there's nothing they can do for the rest of the year, with the drivers' and constructors' titles at stake. So much so that Max Verstappen went to the track in those initial minutes with the green flow vis installed in his car, so that his team could understand how the improvements work and whether or not the air is traveling to the correct places to generate the performance of this car. In these opening minutes, many drivers did not lap at such a high pace, most using hard tires in order to do more laps and capture information about the news, with Leclerc taking the lead, Verstappen almost 1 second behind in second and Russell in third. This season's rookie Liam Lawson also went to the track right from the start, trying to do as many laps as possible to get used to this car, as his second session of 2025 will already be a qualifying session. It is interesting to note that the asphalt of this circuit was redone in several areas, so the grip was not the best, with several drivers going a little over the limit and spinning their cars, fortunately without stoppages or more serious accidents in this initial part. With 42 minutes remaining, Russell had an uglier round and caused a yellow flag when turning 1 with very low grip, and especially the Mercedes cars suffering a lot in practically every corner. And until halfway through training, most of the drivers only used hard tires, with times not being as impressive, but the Ferrari cars were running well, Mercedes was suffering a bit with the adjustments to their car, and many drivers were not doing laps at such a high pace. Heavy! So much, so that halfway through training, Leclerc was first, Sainz second, Russell third, and Verstappen fourth. Speaking a little about Aston Martin, which was also testing many updates to its car, performance was not the best in this session, with the pace well below the leaders, but the team focused and took laps after laps to capture data. Know that with 25 minutes to go, Alonso was 7th, almost 2 seconds behind the leader, and Stroll was 11th. With 15 minutes to go, the vast majority of drivers continued to drive for several laps on hard tires, with only the Red Bull cars closing fast laps on soft tires, and Guan Yu Zhou, who did not achieve a good time, but also used this tire. With only 10 minutes remaining, more cars began to test on fast laps with soft tires, making final adjustments before qualifying shortly. Precisely in these final minutes, McLaren spent more flow on Norris' car for a few final laps at a stronger pace, with all drivers' times dropping significantly and Sainz taking the lead, Verstappen in second and Alonso in third. Mercedes continued to suffer, with Russell stating that the car got worse after some changes, and the times did not improve. So much so that when the timer reset, we had a Ferrari 1-2, with Carlos Sainz in first, Charles Leclerc in second, and Max Verstappen in third. Completing the top 10, Lando Norris was 4th, Oscar Piastri 5th, Lewis Hamilton 6th, George Russell 7th, Kevin Magnussen 8th, Fernando Alonso 9th, and Yuki Tsunoda 10th. Rookie Liam Lawson was in 13th place, Sergio Perez in 16th, and Colapinto in 19th. Well, that concludes the summary of everything that happened in Free Practice 1. But stay tuned, and we will bring you complete coverage of the classification for the sprint race with all the details for you,